I know we don't generally like this, but understanding comes after the experience. Oftentimes we try to understand something first before we've had an experience. And although that can be okay to gain concepts, it's often not as beneficial or gets in the way or sometimes shortcuts the actual experience from happening. So I'm going to give a real-time example of something to me that happened, of something that happened to me today. So I've had many shifts now into a deeper and deeper awareness of what this is, what is happening. And I often struggle through concepts and trying to understand something, and then I finally let it go. The experience happens, and then the rush of understanding is right after the experience, not before. So I woke up, and for the first time in a while, I didn't feel right. I felt kind of weird, some kind of restless. I had a coffee, which makes me a little hyper, but then that hyperness didn't go away for a long time. So I thought, well, this is weird. I couldn't sit still, so I went out, got in nature like I do, and had a really good time. Felt great. Came home, and the underlying feeling was just like, man, something stuck. And 3 or 4 days ago, I texted someone and they didn't respond, and a part of me was like a little annoyed. And I thought, weird. That bothered me. I haven't been bothered in a while. And then I had a dream about that person that I text. And the dream was really angry. And I woke up kind of stuck in the middle of, well, do I look into this? Or do I just keep resting in the peace that I've had for so long and like not let it get in the way? But then I thought, well, I don't want to spiritually bypass and try to pretend like I'm above something if something's coming up. So I just need to feel this and just let it run its course. It was so subtle. I've been really, really mad at someone before, and this was not that. It was like the smallest amount of frustration that you could possibly imagine. Just like I almost didn't notice. And then the dream pointed it out. So I got home. I couldn't really eat. I was still feeling weird. So I thought, all right, something needs to come up. So I sat right there on the floor. And, and it came up like a deep, intense grief. And I just let it come up. I didn't ask questions. I didn't know what it was. I'm not even sure what was happening. I just let it happen. My body just purged some more stuff. Then I sat in silence for a minute, and all the understanding came. This person that I text, that I was barely frustrated at, and then the dream that showed me that I was holding something, it was more of me not accepting reality. I was wanting this person to be different than they were. And I've known that. I've forgiven and let go a lot towards this specific person. And I thought I was good, honestly. I was like, oh yeah, I don't have anything against them. But there was a small, subtle part of me that still wanted them to be different, which is not accepting reality. That is wanting to change what is with my thoughts of what is, which is not real. And as much as I didn't think that was a problem, because it was so small, apparently my body disagreed. And this is just part of the deepening process, I think. Like I said in my previous videos, I'm young. I'm new to this stuff. So I don't know. I get comments all the time telling me what I am, what I'm not, how I'm wrong. Whatever. I'm just sharing my process. And it does seem like there is a huge shift at first when you get through trauma and you release and you let go, and then there's a huge shift. There was a huge shift for me into meaninglessness, where I just saw through everything and realized all words don't mean anything, like nothing means anything, which at first was depressing and then became beautiful because I realized you can create your own meaning. And there's been all these shifts into, like, I don't know what you'd call it, higher awareness. They're just words, it doesn't matter. And instead of anxiety being my baseline, now it's peace, which is wonderful, which allowed me to notice that today it wasn't the same. The peace was not as peaceful. That's why I was able to see this and have these moments that I'm sharing about. But I think as long as we're alive, no one, I'm never going to say I have arrived or I'm enlightened. It's a process. So you just lose more and more of yourself and more of what you're grabbing onto and hanging onto. What I was hanging onto with this specific person was my idea of what I want them to be. That's not love. I had to let that go. I didn't know it was even there. My body knew. The intelligence of my body came through. I had to feel it. I had to go with it. I had to let it run its course, not knowing what it was doing. And then the understanding came right afterwards. The courage to feel before you even know what you're feeling is pretty wild. I never had that before. It's just part of the process. And if anyone else is going through something similar, I hope this resonates or helps. That's all I really need to share before I just start rambling.